Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Bumper Breakfast Show on a Saturday morning. We make our debut today. The Bumper Breakfast Show has never ever happened on a Saturday morning. This particular edition really is for the veterans. But today on the program, we have one veteran and one veteran in the making. We have with us today on the program someone who's lived a life of broadcasting, and really that's all he knows by my own assessment. I call him Mr. T, but he is Mr. Tokunbo Ojekunle. Tokunbo Ojekunle is on the program today, and we'll soon have our cameras on him. Well, we're going to be talking, the rave of the moment. Elections, results, what's it like, state of the nation, and all of that. A whole lot is going to go into today's Bumper Breakfast edition. We will take the newspaper review as well as usual, and there's going to be a whole lot more. So I'll just ask you to sit back, relax, and have fun today. I mean, everyone is at home today, so just watch the Bumper Breakfast Show. It's going to be so much fun. My name is Tom Adirili, and I have with me on the program Tokunbo Ojekunle. Tokunbo, how are you this morning?
I'm fine, could be better.
Really?
Yeah, the veteran thing makes me look like a Methuselah.
Well, depends on how you see it. If that's how you see it, perhaps.
Good morning.
All right, and we have the one and only Rio. We don't have two of his kind, do we? Rio, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. T.
Good morning,
It's a
Rio.
privilege to be with you on the set.
Nice to be with you. I'm going to learn from you.
Who's going to learn from whom? Really?
Of course, I'm going to learn from you.
But we can all learn from each other.
But learning can be different from learning. You cannot compare the numbers of years he has spent. Maybe I'm just spending about a decade on.
Okay.
Now
that's one we have to learn too. It comes with age, right?
All right, my name is Ambassador Robin Emmanuel Oluwafen. For a short, you can call me Real, but if you're going to give me a check, please, Robin Emmanuel, to avoid calamity at the bank. So I cannot start telling the story that touched this. But it's like Robin.
New notes or old ones?
Which one do you prefer?
New note, because I just hope the new note, I hope it's going to come in circulation now by His grace, because a lot of people are saying they are getting new note, but I don't know why I've not even got even the old one now. I'm still getting it by fire by force. I hope your account officer is calm now.
Which account? I never knew I had one anyway.
But during that crisis, you were.
Oh, she had one.
She had one during the crisis and begged for 10,000 naira, and she could hardly get 5,000.
So that's why I said I don't have one.
Because they were not there for you in time of trouble.
Exactly. So why should I be there for them? I'll tell you a little story about Mr. T and why it's so good that he's on television this morning. And
Copyright.
I said to him, I'm going to tell a story.
Copyright.
Okay, may I have? Do you give me the
Real.
Let's give a go ahead.
Okay, let me tell you this story. So Tokunbo was a rave of the moment at some point in time, on radio. And everybody wanted to listen to his program. Everybody wanted to meet him at the time, and so on and so forth. And I remember the local government chairman of Ikeja, came to the office and said he wanted to meet Mr. T. Unfortunately, Mr. T was not in the office. So he left his card and said, please tell him to see me in the office. You remember that story now?
Continue.
So Mr. T was like, we all prepared. We said, Mr. T, you must, deck up and go. So we were all there, but whatever, Mr. T got ready and went to the local government chairman's office. And as soon as he got there, he met with the PA and said, look, my name is Tokunbo Ojekunle. I have been asked to see the chairman of the Ikeja local government. And the secretary said, okay, please sit down. So he sat. She went in to tell the boss that Tokunbo Ojekunle was outside. He was so excited. He had a guest with him and quickly discharged that one. I said, tell Tokunbo Ojekunle to come in, And the secretary did just that. Tokunbo went into his office, and the man said, no, excuse me, you need to go out and wait. Tell her to tell Tokunbo Ojekunle to come in. And that's what happens when you can't put a face to the voice. So today, we're putting a face to Tokunbo Ojekunle's voice. He was expecting a huge man, someone who would be looking down, but here we are, Tokunbo Ojekunle is on the set. I'm so delighted to have you on the Bumper Breakfast set this morning.
This is one of Nigeria's best conversational show holder. Tone's ability to hold a conversation for 2 hours non-stop, you can't beat that. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for giving me this honor.
Thank you, Mr. T, for honoring our invitation. All right, so we're going straight to the newspaper review this morning. And Rio, what do you have in the Vanguard?
All right, Mr. Tokunbo, we just say something, real little thing, about it that I don't want to say Mr. T because they have to go. I don't know why there's no title before the Tokunbo, but maybe before the end of the program we'll get a title for it because, having you on the set on a day, on one of the most anticipated day that was eventually postponed by the Independent National Electoral Commission, and we had a lot of people had to cancel their weddings, their events, and it's really a pain, in the heart of so many Nigerians that the election was postponed. And I always get to tell people, when you hear election, could you please leave the entire month until when everything is settled, so you can just give a month break before you pick a date for any of your events. But like Thomas said, we will be having newspaper review this morning. Of course, we'll be doing it together with our viewers, our audience, and we'll go straight to the Vanguard this morning. The banner headline this morning says, Nigeria return to polls, ensure their votes will count. Of course, tight race loomed in Lagos, Enugu, Rivers, Delta, Sokoto, Katsina, Kaduna, Plateau, Nasarawa, Abia, Benue, and others. INEC failures rise hopes of Riga. Voters' apathy expected in some states, expectation in others. You can see pictures of gubernatorial candidates of different states. You have the state Lagos, you have Sanwo-Olu, you have Jandor, you have the Labour Party Gbadibo. You go straight to Enugu. You have just check the banner headline of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. You will see faces of the people you will be voting for today in different states. At the same time, I have a few little story here. Will a woman emerge governor-elect today? There's a particular state that a woman.
You have a female candidate.
Have a female candidate. I think it's under All Progressive Congress, the APC is there. Then in Delta says what Oborivori or Agege victory or defeat will mean to Ibori dynasty. And the final one that I'll be taking this morning is like Obasanjo Obi writes letter to Nigeria. Like Obasanjo Obi writes letter to Nigeria. That's what we have on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. What do we have next?
Okay, we're looking at The Guardian this morning, and the banner headline, Anxiety as State Elects Governors and Lawmakers. And just quite similar to the Vanguard newspaper, it says, expect better security. IG reassures Nigerians. Hot contests in Lagos, Kano, Kaduna, Rivers, Enugu, and others. No supplementary National Assembly elections today, says INEC. Huriwa, others condemn violence threats in Lagos. And that's all on the Guardian newspaper. The gubernatorial and National Assembly poll. Can Buhari Intudo bail Nigerian women. Page 7, you can find that on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. Cashless policy, fintech companies, and future of commercial banks. And that's on the Guardian newspaper as well. We have IWD 2023, Toast to BAT, Women Breaking Glass Ceilings. And we have pictures of various women who have done well, you know, under the BAT administration, under the APC administration. And you can find that in the Guardian newspaper as well. 2 die in stampede over Ramadan gifts. But I wonder why people will be dying over Ramadan gifts. Whatever gifts, why should people be dying? You know, unnecessarily. Mr. T, what do you think?
It's about food.
Well, even if it's about food,
And
I
that
mean,
it's making a statement. So
yeah, yes, it is
the
making a
social-
statement. That's
social
correct. Yes, it's making a statement. But honestly, we can. Well, the people who are giving out the Ramadan gifts, if they see that there's some sort of threat to life, don't you think they should re-strategize?
I've always said it. Once you lack emotional intelligence, you're just a commoner. Everybody's supposed to be wise. Think about the other person. Swap roles.
Yes. What if I was in that
What was that
position?
position?
What if it was me?
Absolutely. When we do that, we get it right. Even our leaders need to do that to get it right.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Ria, what do you think about that?
Well, you cannot agree 100% what Mr. T said, and I would think about something. I follow your agreement.
I told you the man. But he already said he's an ambassador.
The first time, you sound like a comedian.
Yeah, but he said he's an ambassador. He's doing diplomacy. Don't you think so? I mean, he will also fall in line. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for the Guardian newspaper this morning. Let's hear what you have, Mr. T.
I have the Punch here, and the Punch is saying upsets likely as 28 states elect governors today. And you know, the usual Punch, you have the great banner, the headline banner, and you have the lower riders. In the lower rider, we have fierce battle in Abia, Rivers, Enugu, Benue, Sokoto, Delta, Kano, Kaduna. What the battle is like, I don't know what the Punch is saying, but don't worry, it's all about the elections. Lagos or your Bauchi governors battle to retain their seats, and presidential poll results give opposition hope in many states. Let's be a little bit social. I think they spice that up. It talks here about Lagos orders bishop's prosecution for rape of pastor.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, for rape
For
of
rape
pastor.
of pastor.
So a bishop, did the bishop rape the pastor?
Allegedly.
It was alleged that the
Yeah.
bishop raped the
The
pastor.
pastor, yes, with the pastor. That's in inside pages. FG sheds weight as Buhari assents power devolution bills. That's going to be very interesting coming at this hour. And more, some men are gold diggers. This is coming from Simeon, Eva Simon. And money ritual seekers dark walk into deceit and misery. Aren't they making sales anymore? That's a big question. I was sacked for exposing corruption in Ogun School. That's coming from a nurse. Check the inside pages of the Punch today. And remember, it's still the major stories of the election.
Yeah, the major stories of the election. Let's look at the Nation newspaper. It says, high stakes as voters elect governors in Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Kwara, and 24 other states. Well, I mean, everybody's talking about Lagos, you know, and Ogun State, and you know, there are certain states that keep coming. You know, there's the same thing everywhere in all the papers. So it just tells you that we need to look out for these states. And let's just keep our fingers crossed that the best man will win. INEC clarifies award of 434 million contract to printing firm. That's in the Nation newspaper, and it says the cash crunch are regrets over mob attacks on banks by residents. Really, what can be done about that? It has happened and it has happened. Unfortunately, I think the strategy was not right, and immediately they realized it wasn't right. They should have gone back to the drawing board
And say sorry.
and say apologize. I had
say
said that.
sorry.
I had said that on this program
And say
a number
sorry.
of times. They owe us an apology.
What?
People died.
So
People lost their
until
lives.
Now, I think the only one we've had so far was from the president, and I felt he must have been touched by that. But the CBN owes the Nigerian people
An apology.
I think so.
A huge apology at that. You know, tense gubernatorial contests also expected in Rivers, Kaduna, Delta, Enugu, Abia, Plateau, and on and on. You know, Soludo, Obasaki, Adeleke in fierce battles to control Anambra, Edo, Osun assemblies. 41 National Assembly seats up for grabs in supplementary polls. All of that you can find in the Nation newspaper, and let's see what else we can. That's about it. So you just need to get yourself a copy of the Nation newspaper, look into it, and see what it says. That's it today on the newspaper review on the Bumper Breakfast Show. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will have a topic to discuss. Please stay tuned.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم
Marhaba bika ya Ramadan. Ramadan, the holy month, the holiest month, the blessed month, the most forgiving month, the month of Holy Quran. The month of fasting is here again. MITV Star FM, in our usual tradition, have lined up spiritual program for sponsorship during this blessed month. Programs like Call to Prayer, Tarawih daily from the Holy Kaaba, Ramadan Tafsir, Quranic reading competition, quiz competition, all packaged for your delights during the month of fasting, worship, purification and forgiveness of sin. For your advert and sponsorship, contact us 0803-300-4531, 003-515-8736 or 002-928-0721. Muri TV at yahoo.com, on YouTube at Muri TV Nigeria, on Facebook MITV NG, on Instagram at MITV_NG, on Twitter at MITV_NG. Ramadan Kareem.
من الهدى والفرقان.
A popular saying in Nigeria goes that at the time a cockerel matures, it begins to crow to tell the world the time of day. This makes a crucial premise for all of us who have come of age, the youths, to lend our voices to a nation set to flip a new page, like the chance to vote and be voted for, whether being a youth, a woman, or a person with disability, and to do this in unity. And to anyone who hasn't been confident enough to exercise these rights, I beg, step out of the dark and come into the light. I mean, your participating in the electoral process is significant, a moment to behold, like that cock crowing in the morning to tell about a difference. No sit down look. Do something that will count today and be in tomorrow's books. The elections are coming. Register for and get your voter's card, your power card. As a citizen, and especially as a young lady or lad, lend your voice, use your voice, talk, say, and tell the world the time of day.
Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast Show this morning. It's a Saturday morning, the very first of its kind on MITV. On a Saturday morning, the Bumper Breakfast Show is actually happening on Election Day. Well, we've been talking behind the scene, and we said, we were looking at gubernatorial elections in Lagos State since 1999. We've talked about how parties, merged, how they've metamorphosed, so to speak, the number of parties, the percentage in which parties won and lost, the candidates that participated, and all of that, since 1999. So that's what we're really going to discuss this morning. We're going to discuss gubernatorial elections in Lagos State since 1999. Real, let's hear from you. How was it way back then? I'm sure
I knew you would call me first.
No, you knew I would call you first. 1999, I remember we had the AD and the PDP.
This is like someone putting me on the spot,
yes,
right? But
ambassador, you have to know now.
That's the game.
That's the game.
That's the game. Anyways, he does not really like politics, but remember, there's always a game in politics. And for him to understand that,
But you have never asked me why. So go ahead. No, that's another.
Well, I've never asked you why. No, it's a topic for today. We should know. Okay. To me, fine. I was quite young in 1999, and I was very young, and I'm sure I did not even participate in it. But going to school and being a graduate of a prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, where I did government of the greatest Ife. Great. I'm sorry. People always say we are proud, but I'll just go by by the Aluta body. I will come down here. All right. Before they will arrest me on this table this morning, I'll just say, okay. I think in 1999, the gubernatorial election in Lagos State was a little bit tough, because it was a time where this current president-elect came back from exile, because we all knew what happened, the military era, Abacha.
The Nadeko days.
Yes.
And then the Nadeko days, and then he came back, and I read a little bit about how he was able to get a ticket of the governorship and to represent the Alliance for Democracy, AD, which is like the heritage of where the current Lagos State ruling party came out from. And one thing I know about this Alliance for Democracy is, for a very long time, they were trying to take some other states aside from Lagos, which was kind of difficult until when Tinubu finished his tenure and refused to retire in the Senate and said, see, I want to expand my coast, And that time, I saw the PDP that won the federal election, the presidency, Obasanjo that time, right?
Yeah.
And the person that contested against Tinubu in Lagos then was Dapo Sarumi. Yes. And the way Lagosian participates in that election, it was huge for Lagos, because Tinubu had about 81% of the vote.
18%.
To 18%.
Yes.
That's huge. That was huge. So that was something I read. However, we had registered voters then, and turnout for like 4-point-something million. Total vote was 1.61 million. Valid vote was like 1.26 million, and then you have the invalid blank notes that was just 34,999. So I think that time it was peaceful, even though at least that time we've not been having cases of the Agbe Road. However, I cannot really say, because I did not really witness it. I only read about it. So I think you can take it from.
Okay, let me just add, a little to what you said. You see, what the thing is that Nigerians have always known what they want. Now, they looked at a man who had struggled, for democracy. He had paid his dues for democracy, and he had turned multinationals around. They looked at a man who had the strategy. They looked at a man they thought could lead the state, Lagos State. I mean, because Bola Tinubu at the time, he was agile, he had all the values, and Nigerians, Lagosians especially, did not hesitate to say, this is the one person that we want. And it was clear, it was crystal clear
That they wanted this person.
because they believed he was capable. And he got the ticket. He got the ticket. He'd been in exile, he'd gone through, he'd been jailed, he'd fought for democracy, he'd struggled so much and everything. And he just wanted a better Nigeria. But if he was going to start with Lagos State, so be it. And when he came in, they voted for him en masse. And we had him for two tenors, back to back. And then he left, and then someone else came in.
I think also, so if you don't mind, can I just drop
Oh,
this
yes.
quickly? There was a fundamental trail of history before the advent of the Tinubu era.
Oh yes, that's the MKO.
And the MKO thing.
Yes.
And Nigerians had suddenly gotten locked up to having an icon.
Yes.
We needed somebody, and when I still go back, I look at the days of the UPN and NPN days.
NPN
as well.
days, yes.
When Chief
Shagaria
Awolowo
and Awolowo.
was there and Shagari was
Shagari.
there. There must always be a beacon for the people to follow.
Yes.
And there was a law because of the military interventions we've had. And because of that again, you found a lot of people either, fall and clap for the military, but more importantly, they wanted to own their own. They wanted their own people. They wanted to run their show by themselves. And they didn't want to see guns everywhere anymore. So we had that also fighting drills around us. And look at when we were going to establish political parties, military also tried to establish parties in their own realm. So we had a kind of a quagmire of some sort, and it affected the drill. It affected the drill and the flow. So when Ebola Tinubu came, and we also had the fusion of AD, and by the way, I must confess, all the political structures we had then, and a bit of them we still have, had this ethnic things about it, had religious things about it. Where you belong, we wanted to affiliate to where you belong, really. And somebody would tell you from the north, I had friends from the north who said, you people have already demarcated the country before. And he said, no, River Niger demarcated, and all that. But it was all fun. But back to the serious note. So when Bola Tinubu and the AD came, it was tough in Lagos. It was tough in Lagos. We had NLC winning at a point in time
yes.
in Lagos. People tend to forget all that, and that for me raises a lot of respect that I have for people in Lagos and for Lagos itself.
Yes.
Because if you don't stand well, as they say, you will find yourself when it comes to the voting day of voting.
Yes. They will decide at the polls. Yes.
They will decide at the polls and show you where they want to belong. So
that's why it's important, Mr. T, that when you lead well.
You lead well. Leadership.
It's important. Yes, it's so important. And you must always set the standards and leave an example for others to follow.
Yeah.
I would say here that that leadership is different from politician. There are two things now. Every politician.
Is that what you believe?
I feel every politician that is on seat feels we are leader. And a lot of them don't even have the leadership spirit.
Okay, I think what he's trying to say is that they don't have the leadership qualities.
They can be
all
smart
politicians
they know how to play their cards, but getting to the seats, they don't know how to direct the people.
Leaders choose leaders. Leaders identify leaders.
Yes, it's one of the abilities of a good leader to be able to identify.
I'll be strong in telling you this. You are dragging me into politics, but I'll be strong in telling you this, that Bola Tinubu saw that. He will look back and it wasn't a point to gloat over, I made you, I didn't make. No. Leaders identify leadership qualities in people and use it to the advantage of the general mass. They don't use it to their own personal advantage. So because you can identify, it makes you a leader. So first is this: a leader needs to do a self-SWOT analysis.
Yes.
Who am I? What type of leader do I want to become? Or what type of leader am I? If you do your self-SWOT SWOT analysis.
Analysis.
You are able to know where you
Your strengths
vary,
lie,
your strength
your
lies, your
weaknesses
weaknesses,
and
and
all
your
of that.
threats.
Your threats.
You also understand what emotional intelligence is. I mentioned this thing because a leader without emotional intelligence is, sorry to say, if you are listening or watching, he is slack a little bit. You don't care for people.
It won't work.
It won't work. Thank you.
I mean, perhaps it will work for as long as you have power. But if you want to be re-elected, people will look at that, that you lacked in that area. That's
And
so
it might be
important.
used against you.
And it will be.
It will be used.
It
will
might.
be used
It
against
will
you.
be used
Now,
against you.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Then I need to also drop quickly that mouth referrals, word of mouth. Do you know a lot of people, they don't go on this thing. But what they hear said at the salon, or what they hear said at the marketplaces, they hold on to it.
And you should.
Don't listen to that man. That's how they do it. They will be seizing our cars on the road and be auctioning our cars. Whereas you need to find out exactly why would
What really
they do
happened.
that? What have they done wrong? People don't ask questions anymore. So information matters. So are you with
Let
me?
me-
Every great governor who wants to be a good leader, really listen to what people are saying. Okay,
Public opinion.
Public opinion matters, but at the same time, yeah, you listen to what your people are saying. You have to create a balance.
You have to create a balance. Listen to what people are saying, what your people are saying, and what you are saying to yourself. I
yourself.
mean, what is right. I'll give you an example. My driver the other day was saying to me, "Oh, girl, this Obanikoro, I don't even know what he wants. How many times is he going to run for election? What does he want? He has been this, he has been minister, he has been..." And I'm listening to him. I'm like, which Obanikoro? He says, the Obanikoro now, wasn't he this, wasn't he that? I said, no. I said, that's his son. He said, no, that's not his son. It is the man himself. It's Musiliu himself. Do you know at a point, I just kept quiet.
You have to. You really
Because,
have
I mean, how do I start arguing with my driver? So I kept quiet. I didn't say anything. But sometime later, maybe about 2-3 weeks later, someone was talking about the same thing. I was talking about his son. He said, no, it's not the son, it's him. And then they pulled it out and showed him.
But the son who contested at Etiosa.
Yes,
Federal House
the
of
son.
Reps.
So,
he thought it was the
He
real
thought it was the
Obanikoro.
father. He's a real Obanikoro, but he's the son
but the
of
son.
Muslim.
But when I say the real, you know that's the former minister.
No, because
I
they really have to be. You have to add that. now.
Yes.
This day and age.
Yes,
Where are
yes,
you from?
Yes,
Who are you?
yes, I get that. I get that.
You know, so like you said, Mr. T, I agree with you. Word of mouth, and you see, especially for those who are not willing to read or who can't read, whether it is the social media, whether it is the mass media, whatever, they just form this impression, and then they start to spread it.
Yes.
So one has to be very careful.
You know, when Mr. T was talking about how leaders identify leaders, I want to identify with you now on that particular statement, because this is not about being partisan or coming straight into politics. I think that is one thing I personally like about the president-elect. Like I said the other time, he did not, a lot of, at least you can say, I don't have the data here, but I can still say 70% of former governors like to retire in the Senate, but he chose not to. How he identified with Fashola, because after his 2 tenure, Fashola came in. And that time, Obanikoro really shake the Lagos. Because I remember his slang that time, Kosi Kuru, Kosi Bo, Kosi Kuru, Kosi. It was so, at a point, I think he came with, because he had the,
You were with them.
Pardon?
The Kosi something.
I mean, of course, come on. You may turn me Methuselah, but it still works. You know, the engine still works. So I remember clearly.
So you know, I remember he had the federal blessings. You know, he was able to penetrate Lagos, and you know, the federal government too were really trying to take over Lagos. You know, because of how Tinubu has been able to turn Lagos. If I don't remember anything, I remember he made Lagos generally internally generated revenue at 600 million per month, and he was able he left leaving them with 6 billion per month. So when this man come out to say I made Lagos, and people say, "Bam, what did you do?"
The Lagos City project we're clapping for today.
Yes, he started it.
So
Yes.
But I understand that in politics you have friends, you have enemy, and you don't have permanent enemies,
Yes,
no
no
permanent
permanent
friends.
friends.
And as long as you're dragging a seat with somebody, there's nothing that you will do that is perfect to your opposition.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
would
I
criticize
like
it.
the way you put it. As far as you think, but I want to say that what has been wrong so far is we see contests and we call it war.
Precisely.
I think that is what is going on
Yeah,
right now in the
war,
Nigeria
yeah.
election.
Contests should help you step up. Step up the
Absolutely.
game. Contests should challenge you. Contests should open you up to criticisms, constructive criticisms, whatever criticisms. Listen, take them, use what you need to use, and discard the rest, and move on, and make your mark. Make your mark. That's what it should be. Do well, struggle to excel. You don't need to fight. You don't need to be abusive. It's unfortunate that that's what happened.
And you don't need to kill.
You don't need to kill. You don't need to take life.
Very, very significant.
I would like to talk about the two-term tenure of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay.
I remember, just like you said, the internal generated revenue of Lagos was so high at that time, and I remember the federal government refused to release funds to Lagos State,
They did.
and he actually said, at a
They did.
point, and he actually
When
said,
he
what,
quoted the-
with or without,
We'll leave.
Lagos will continue to survive, and not just survive, will excel.
Yeah, that
And
was-
they did. I mean, they
was quite remarkable.
They set the standard.
That was quite remarkable.
And
to
you
me.
cannot take that away from him. He has the leadership qualities. He's able to identify good leaders, and that's why we had somebody like Fashola, who was actually, there was a plan, and he followed that plan.
You did.
Yes,
did.
you followed that
You
plan.
don't change it. When you have leaders, they see the end from the beginning. That's the interesting thing. They see the end from the beginning.
All right, our producer could show us how the security agencies are
Oh, right
prepared,
now, yes. Oh, they're preparing.
preparing to storm the streets and make sure they keep everywhere peaceful. All the INEC promises a free and fair election, credible this time, and to amend to whatever they called mistakes in the just concluded presidential election that produced the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But then the Nigerians said they don't want guns at polling units.
They don't want guns at polling units. They don't want to be scared. They don't want touts. They want what we
And dogs.
we
Yes,
want a free
the
and
citizens
fair
wanted to take dogs
election.
to their polling units because of insecurity issues and people who want to take advantage of that pool. But then,
But I trust that this time it's going to be different, because we ordinarily should learn from our mistakes. Mistakes have been made, and even if they are not corrected, I mean, there was no opportunity to correct at that point. Now there is an opportunity to make better what they
So
they
this
didn't do right.
particular video
So-
is the commissioner of police deploying his men. So that's the Lagos State Commissioner
Command.
of Police there, Lagos State Police Command.
Yeah, the other thing I look at when elections are coming up. You have your intention, I have my intention. We can't rule away the fact that some miscreants might want to be mischievous.
Oh yes, they always
So
are.
they always are. So my submission is that this time around, think twice before you do it.
Oh yes, think twice before you do it.
Before you do it.
Yes.
Because everybody is waiting. Any uproar, people are ready to face you.
Mr. T, right now,
Yes.
we're sitting on a keg of gunpowder. That's what it is. Everybody right now is agitated.
That sounded like an incantation to me.
My boy, you've started,
sitting on the
keg of gunpowder. Yes, ready to explode. So let's just do
Everybody-
things right, because we don't want. We don't want.
We can't afford.
We can't yes, it's not whether we want. We can't afford.
afford.
That's the word. We can't afford any.
To miss it.
Yes,
The
So let's see
getting ready.
see them
INEC.
getting ready.
So the last presidential election we had in Nigeria, we had complaints like the INEC officials did not get to their
So polling units in
unit.
time.
Yes,
Yes.
and that really affected. One of the things that affected. This is Osun State. This is Ademola Adeleke,
yes.
the Osun State governor. there's no governorship or gubernatorial election in Osun State today, but
Yeah,
of
but
course
he's going
they
to
would
vote.
have
He's on his way
their
to-
state House of Assembly
Assembly, yeah.
election. He's been begging, the electorate to help him put the People's Democratic candidates, in office of the House of Assembly so that it can help the administration.
But he can't do
there.
that anymore today. There's no campaign today.
No, of
There's
course
no campaign.
not.
He's
So-
just going to cast his
Just going to
votes.
cast his own votes.
Yes.
This is Ede, I guess. It has to be Ede because that's where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, along the line, we'll see all the gubernatorial aspirants, going to their various polling units to cast their votes. And as we get those materials, we will show them.
Today is the examination day, so no more campaign.
No more campaign,
So
yes.
just go and write your exams
And
and cross your legs. So.
and let's see which way it falls, But we're keeping our fingers crossed. That's what we're doing. Let's keep our fingers crossed that the best man wins. We want a new Nigeria, really. Want to breathe, fresh air. We want a breath of fresh air. We want it to be different. We want things to fall in place. We want things to work. And not just in Lagos, but in Nigeria. Don't forget that not all of us live in Lagos State. We may work in Lagos State, but not all of us live in Lagos. Some of us live in other states. And we want for those states to
But those states
work.
are extremely very close to Lagos.
Borderline.
Borderline. So who is in control of the borderline? Do you know what I found out?
Yeah, I don't know.
Lagos tentacles are there. I know where
Yeah.
you're talking about
Yes.
because I feel it.
You feel
I
it?
stay there too. But I feel it. I feel it too. I feel it too. As a governor, make sure you make an impact, positive
It's
impact.
very significant.
Yes, it's very important.
I would say
On a
that,
day like this, if you have made your impact, you're going to sit down.
I mean,
cross
you
your
will
leg.
sit down and cross your leg. And
You're happy.
let me just.
I don't think. I think politics has really changed hands now. It's no longer business
As usual.
Because
True.
I will take
I
Lagos
agree.
State for example. Now, it was surprising to see even the sitting governor running Etasketa. I call it Etasketa because immediately Lagos State and his party lost the presidential election, he knew I cannot sit on fire.
Yeah.
I have to do. So he started doing things he hasn't done before, going from place to place. But I said, see, it's still the same thing. Other candidates have not been going from one place to another before. It's election time. It's expected. They will start, to go. But one problem I have since we started, this campaign, generally, including presidential election, I see religious problem. I see tribal problem.
Yes.
And up to now, it's still worrying, a lot of Nigerians. And I think it's affecting our thinking faculty when it comes to that tribal
See, let me
problem.
explain it. It has been there since Imo River. It has always been there, real, since way back time. We have not, listen. The political history of Nigeria is so interesting. We had it going within ourselves, and we had the British and the colonial masters come and play their role. Then the military came. The story of Nigeria is extremely peculiar in Africa because some African countries didn't even express 1/16 of what Nigeria did at a point in time. Nigeria
And
did
they
not break
broke
up. Nigeria did not break up.
So like since the 1940 amalgamation, we had a forever
And-
marriage.
And that tells you something that's going on in the DNA of the Nigerian.
I said it last week. I said we're resilient people.
We
I
are
don't-
resilient, positively so,
So,
not
correct.
foolishly.
Yes.
There are times you could take a lot of, as they call, other word I can't say, from people. But when it comes to one day, they hit you against the wall, you bounce back. Okay? No. In Nigeria, we will bounce, they will bounce, they will wait for the right, but they wait for the right time to bounce back. Prior to 9, we used to have skirmishes. But people realize that, there's power in the vote. So I'm going to line up and show that I don't like this person.
They will
Nigeria
wait
wasn't like
patiently
that
for 4
before.
years.
They will wait patiently.
They will.
They will wait patiently for 4 years. But whatever the polity becomes, whatever the people have become over time, whatever ethnic bigotries and all had played its game at that time in particular and now, depends on the type of leadership we have had over time.
And then, Mr. T, I agree totally with you. But you see, the religious involvement has increased and it has started to become irritating. It is so irritating, honestly, in politics. And I say that because of the, well, I don't want to be specific, because of the boom, especially in the Pentecostal churches. Do you understand? So you have everybody, I can sleep today, Mr. T, and wake up tomorrow and tell you that I got a calling. And of course, because I know you, I know Rio, I know Tomisi, church has started.
It has started.
It has started.
Because I will join your church.
Yes, now, because you will join my church.
Join your
and I will go and study the Bible, and I will start to quote the Bible. And then you, my own friends, will be on my side. And that's how it starts. So everybody now can be a pastor. Whether you are or you are not, you can become a pastor easily.
Yes.
So because of the crop of pastors that we have, and we know what it is they are looking for. So anywhere they can find that thing, whether it be politics or otherwise, they will dabble into it and they will say all sorts of rubbish. It is so embarrassing to me as a Christian when I hear certain pastors, dabble into politics and make all sorts of prophecies, and those prophecies don't come true. And they are never ashamed. There's never an apology that perhaps it wasn't God that spoke to them at the time they thought it was. There's never an apology. The next thing you'll hear is another prophecy, just because they want that thing at all costs. It's so embarrassing.
Do you know, to add to that too, do you know that I think all pastors need to hear this? The impact of what they are doing on the infants. My friend told me that his 4-year-old son walks up to him one day and said, Daddy, why isn't God talking to you like he talks to pastor? A big question you just can't answer that immediately. I think we have to be very careful here. You're right. Where we merge religion into everything we're doing, okay? And I would also end up that where we would put religion in a society like ours, where we would put religion in a society like ours. It is there, we worship, you understand, we do everything, but hey, those who lead, back to leadership. Back again to
yes,
leadership.
we're coming back to leadership.
Back to leadership again.
Okay, so I think it's time for us to throw the lines open. Let's discuss religion and politics. I mean, those two words, sound so familiar. I think I've heard someone sing religion and politics. Majek for Sheikh. I remember. Mr. T.
Our producer can put, the call number.
All right, so the number will be displayed on the screen, and then we can take calls and hear what people think, because I have just expressed myself. I said to me, it is really nauseating, it's irritating, and honestly, I wish we can stop.
Even a pastor or imam or afar always have their preferred candidates.
Yes.
The other time on this,
you should pray for everybody.
If I was a pastor, I can say, I'm voting for so person. I can boldly say that on the altar, because let's talk about big churches. You would see that you have different political parties.
Need to say that to your church.
I'm just saying, if at all, instead of endorsing and compulsoring your audience or your members to vote for a particular party, confessing your candidate might influence your members.
It will influence.
Yeah, I'm saying might, because my pastor, if you like, let him follow. If I've chosen who I want to follow for a reason.
Being influenced also comes from mere thinking about something. It doesn't say you're going to do what he's doing, but you just.
I mean, that you have that thought.
I just have issue with pastor condemning a particular candidate or a particular party when it comes to election, because there are some people in your church that they are in that party you are condemning, and they are paying tithes.
And you're being so insensitive. Okay, so the number to call is 0915 689 681. 0915 689 681. No.
All right, that is the number to call. 091
0915 689 681. Yes, it's not complete.
Okay, it's not complete.
It's not complete.
Okay,
Okay, the number is displayed on the
screen.
screen.
It's on the screen. That's
So-
095.
No, we have a different number on the screen. So the number to call is 090 15
Yes.
689. And sorry, can we
Okay,
please have the number displayed on the
I have the
screen?
complete one. Yes, 090 15 68 96
0990.
Yeah, 090
So
15
689 681.
Yes, that is the number to call.
09015 689 681. That's the number to call. Please reach out to us and let's discuss religion and politics. Yes, so like Mr. T was saying, I mean, influencing doesn't mean that that person has to physically, go vote for the candidate. But the fact that you mentioned it, you talked about it, that person starts to process it internally,
Yeah.
and that's that's
that's
some sort of influence.
It just triggers
I mean,
it.
that triggers it,
In religious houses,
and it shouldn't be
today-
the case.
Religious houses today, I feel my own personal opinion that large percent of people going to church and mosques don't even look like they are going to look for God.
We have a caller on the
Look
line.
Okay, let's take
Okay, hello, good morning. Welcome to the Bumper Breakfast Show this morning. Who are we speaking with? Where are you calling from? What's your name? And what you want to do? What's your name? You need to turn down the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you.
Okay, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes. What's your name?
My name is Agnes.
Agnes from Ikorodu.
Yes.
Okay, Agnes, go ahead and make your contribution.
Hello?
Hello, Agnes.
Agnes, we can hear you.
We can hear you,
hear
Agnes.
us?
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello, Agnes.
Okay, I think the network is bad from his
Yes, I
end.
think the
So-
network is bad. The network is bad.
From his
Okay, so you can keep trying. Agnes, we expect you to call us back. I think there's a network problem there. The number to call is displayed on the screen. But please, if you are going to call us, you need to turn down the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you and you can hear us. Okay, so the lines are open. Hello? Hello? We lost that caller. Okay. Pardon? Okay, sorry, we lost the. Yes, we lost the line, not the caller. I agree completely. So you see, like I said, we keep learning. Yes, we lost the line. Okay, we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, madam.
Good morning. Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Induka from Ikorodu.
We're getting quite a number of calls from Ikorodu this morning. It's an Ikorodu thing, right? Okay, Nduka, how are you? How's it going in Ikorodu this morning?
It was cool and calm.
It's-
God is in control.
God is in control. Okay, yes, he always is in control. Have you voted yet?
He said,
Have you voted? Have you cast your vote yet?
no, I will soon go out.
Please go out and vote. Please go out and vote. Okay, let's hear you. Religion and politics. What do you think?
If you are putting religion, you are putting politics into religion, that is, we will talk about the fear of God. We will talk about the kind of openness. We will talk about sincerity. Because when you talk about politics, politics, the way we handle it in this country is not the way it's supposed to be.
Should religious leaders, do you think religious leaders should be getting involved in politics? I mean, the way they are, the way they are now,
Yes, they're supposed to get involved in
and influence
because
people to vote for their candidates.
They They are the people that carry the name of the Lord. They are the people that supposed to put people in the right path so that the affairs of the nations will go smoothly the way God wants it. So that is my own point of view.
Okay.
That spiritual leaders should be involved in politics.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you. We appreciate that call. Well, thank you. So he says he believes that religion, yes, from that angle, it's a different angle, but I don't think religious leaders should, for example, you're a leader of a church. You have people from all political parties.
It's like a monarch
as members
endorsing
of your church
a
and
party.
Exactly.
But the
how
thing
do you
is,
do that?
But Tom, the thing is, politics is everywhere. It's in your house. It's on your street. It's
Yes,
in the
but I'm talking
family.
about.
It's even in the church. It's in the mosques.
Yes, it's everywhere,
talk
no
about
doubt.
Politics, but
Mr.
maybe
T, tell
this
us
kind
about-
of politics
Hello,
is
good
different
morning.
from what I'm talking about.
What?
Steven calling.
Stephen. Good morning, Stephen. How are you this morning? Thank you. How's it going at your end this morning? Have you voted?
Yes, I'm about to leave my house to my polling unit now.
Okay.
In respect of what you are discussing,
Mhm.
is the religious leaders in this country have a major role to play in our politics. Because in a situation whereby a religious leader begins to exonerate his members from politics, it means the country is going nowhere. So they are in the right position to inculcate good orientation to their members. When you are talking of religion leaders, you are talking of the pastors and the affairs, imam and others. So they have a major role to play. And during that process, it shouldn't be partisan.
That's it. Okay. So do you think that they are abusing the opportunities that they have?
A lot of them are abusing it.
Thank
They're
you.
not telling the right thing.
So what do you think is the way out?
The way out is that they should preach and tell them and preach unity to them, the unity of the country, the paramount to everyone, so that there will be peace in every nook and cranny of this country. So most of the country today are magneted from the religious sector, either Muslim or Christian, because what they are hearing matters a lot, and they have a long way to go in the life of the followers. So they have to preach unity, unity and peace.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. He's made his point. Unity and peace is what the religious leaders should be preaching. And I just go with the flow, if you ask
Because
me.
when he was talking, Mr. T was nodding his head, and for him to have nodded his head like this, I
No,
trust his position.
sometimes when I
So I just follow him.
where did you get this guy? No, you see, sometimes when I nod, right, it's like he's speaking. No, listen,
Yeah.
so he's speaking his mind.
Yeah.
And maybe
you are listening.
I'm listening. Thank you. So to affirm that, okay, I'm
Okay,
following
I
you.
hear you.
I hear you.
But I
Okay.
don't know
But
if
when
I
you nodded
quite
like more than
agree.
three
Let me
times.
say this. Look, let me say this, right? A new research analysis, okay, finds that 30 of the world's countries belong to a unique group of nations that call for their heads of state, to have a particular religious affiliation, from monarchies to republics, including descendants of royal or whatever family.
Let's take this call.
Let's take
this
this
call.
call first.
Hello, good morning. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Saturday edition of the Bumper Breakfast Show on MITV. What's your name and where are you calling from? Olushola. Where are you calling from this morning?
I'm calling from Abule Egba.
Ah, good. So, Abule Egba, what's the situation report like? How's it going there?
Yes, fine, good, yes. First of all, I want you guys to change the write-up on TV. You guys wrote religion, not religion.
Thank you. Thank you for that
Thank you so much.
observation. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So now, when it comes to politics and religion, for me, just like Mr. T has said, religion and politics are something, they are different things, but close in relation. There's nowhere that you see
that anything is happening without people putting politics. Politics is in the family, is in the church, is in the mosque, everywhere. In a family, you see situation whereby a child, probably the second born, will be more favored from the father than the first born. That's politics. They came from the same father. In a church, that's where you see that the person that is probably having an important role in the church will have a close relation with the pastor. That's politics. Either he's qualified or he's not. That was why you read something this morning. Majek Patek had a song. Religion is politics. Religion is for everywhere. It's not only Majek Patek. Even Fela.
I was going to say Fela when he said.
Fela should say this.
Yes.
If you get it, that a best friend that is holding a particular post is a friend to the bishop. A person that is holding a particular post is a friend to an imam. So the politics cuts across everywhere. If you look at what you just read this morning, lots of these people, I mean, if you watch CBC, there's an accident already in Katsina that involves the governor's convoy. One of those people that were injured is the niece to the governor. Probably he might not be qualified for that position, but not just because he's closer to the governor. So politics and religion might sound differently, but they are different. They are the same in nature. Thank you. You are doing a wonderful job. Bye-bye.
I think you have done a wonderful job. I mean, he has analyzed it, he's broken it down, and he's on point by my rating. He's on point by my rating. Thank you so much for that call, and I hope we have adjusted what's on the screen. We have. Okay. So the calls just keep coming. Let's take this one more call and then, Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good morning. Yes. Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Ayobo.
Ayobo. What's your name, sir?
My name is Olalere from Ayobo.
Mr. Olalaye.
Lere.
Okay, Olalere. Okay, how is it going at your end?
It's going fine now. Excellent fine.
Okay, but you need to do something for me, please. Turn down the volume of your television set, and then we can hear you. We can, yes.
I'll do that.
Okay. So
it's going well in Ayobo. The security people, they are doing very good, excellent in Ayobo. I thank God for today, because what I was thinking is that maybe today is going to be worse more than the other one. But today, we thank God for these hours.
Thank you so much. That's the whole essence, to learn from our mistakes, and correct them.
I said it.
Yes,
earlier,
and correct them. Thank you so much, Mr. Olalere. Thank you for your contribution. Yes, so basically, this is expected.
It is expected. It is expected. Let me go back to
the initial caller.
The initial caller, yes.
You see, and I said this earlier, I hope pastors and leaders of churches and mosques are listening in. Your congregation is an output of your character. The kind of life you live, the way you speak, the dress you wear as a church leader permeates the whole congregation. Everybody wants to talk like the pastor. Everybody wants to think like the pastor. So they have the strongest hold on the strongest, most important force in the polity, which is, look, religion is number one. Forget it. If it's either Christian, either Islam, it is the truth. When we were young, what they tell you to do during taking communion, you still remember a bit of that. Mm-hmm. The number of prayers you hold as a Muslim, you were taught by the leader, the Alpha. They teach you. So they have an influence. Even when you're getting married, they're there. Yeah. When your children are coming, they're there. So they are a part of your life. So every church or religious organization,
whatever religion it is,
please, yes, understand that you are shaping society.
Correct.
You are shaping society.
I'll give you an example of what you said. When my second son was growing up, he would dress up and ask you to wear a bow tie for him. If you don't wear that bow tie, it's a problem. He wanted to be like Pastor Mike. He want you to go to bed take a bath and wear your pajamas was a problem for us.
Yeah.
He would not want to get those clothes off him because he had this picture in his mind. He used to see the pastor like a god.
The danger now is this. Going back to what you submitted the other time. I held it down, I kept it for you. That the pastor could go and say, this is my choice. In the church, they say, look, ABC is my choice. I don't know about you. The fact that I planted it that day, in the car, we discussed with my wife. I'm getting home. Look, I'm going to switch.
Since daddy
is no more pastor.
And he knows what he's doing. Holy Spirit told him
we should stop sleeping.
And the caller said they should preach unity.
Yes, unity, yes. It is intentional, Mr. T. They didn't sleep. They never sleep for once. They didn't. It wasn't a mistake. It was intentional.
How about the politicians
even though they just dropped
involving this minister of God in politics? Because I know
a
large number of them don't go to the government or to a politician.
Yes.
Most of the time,
the politicians come to them
because they know they have influence and they have the numbers. I know in politics, number is very, very important.
We need to think of something. We have to. It's our DNA that's the problem. It's a DNA.
This is the second time Mr. T is talking about the DNA. So I'm sure there's something that he's going somewhere.
See. Our attitudes are our attitudes. Our nation is our nation. When you step out as a Nigerian, they will know you, they identify you easily.
Yes.
Now, whether for good or for bad, let's assume it's for good, they identify you. Hey,
why
everybody. No, I'm just using you. I'm using you as do you intend to jump or something? Anyway, let's go back. Leave that alone. Now, I'm in the spirit.
You're in the spirit. How do you know? You're in the spirit.
I love Nigeria so much.
Now, hold it. Where I'm going is this. Because you stepped out as a Nigerian, they liked you, doesn't mean Mr. XY, who also stepped out as a Nigerian, they will like him. Why? Everywhere you go, your shadow, your character goes with you. It is you that you are moving. That's, I am a Nigerian. It's secondary. People forget that. So let us begin to talk about the character, the innate character we have, what you're carrying around. Okay, I could decide to go and cause wahala there across the road where they are voting. I could, right? At the same time, I could say, no, I won't go. But somebody who is going to do it will still
do it. And the one who won't.
And the one who won't. So we have to be discerning. We have to have a discerning mind. It's not discerning spirit, discerning mind.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
We give glory to God. My name is Mohammed from Mina.
Oh, that's good, from Mina. Yes, okay. Mohammed, how is it going there in Mina?
Mina is very, very good. And
very peaceful?
Going on smoothly.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So I'm sure we're getting it right this time, you know. Okay.
Very, very good.
I'm glad you're calling, Mohammed, because you are obviously a Muslim.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. I mean, it will be nice to hear from the other side now. So, Mohammed, what do you think? Religion and politics, I mean, somehow they are interwoven, you know, but, I mean, how much should religious leaders get involved in politics, and how much should politicians get involved in religious leaders? Where should they draw the line?
You see, we have to be realistic. Religion, the politicians have succeeded in impacting their evil intention into some of these our black sheep among the religious leaders. They are not supposed to be, the religion and politics is not supposed to be in religion. You see, a religion is not supposed to be a father to all political parties, to all, I said. He advised them, he talked to them, whoever becomes victorious among them, he embraces them, he congratulates them. Whoever lost among them, if they are not losers, of course, he talked to them. That is what it is. But now, it has come to the time when a religious leader would be preach to the congregation to vote certain candidates, to not vote certain candidates. This is not good. And to me, it's not going to be good for the future Nigeria. It's not going to be good for future Nigeria. I know some followers are not listening to them because still there are still a lot of Christians that vote for Muslims, especially when you go to Yoruba land. There are a lot of Muslims that vote for Christians when you go to Yoruba land. But in North here, that is not the case. And if care is not taken in future, it will be a very great problem. When I talk about North, it's not like Yoruba land. And to me, there are supposed to be a law that will be banned on this religious leader, the black sheep among them, those who preach politics into their congregation, so that there will be punishment attached to it. There will be punishment. There are supposed to be punishment attached to it. So because if this is not stopped in future, there will be, for instance, me, for instance, I'm a Muslim. I love to, when this presidential something started, I love to vote for Peter Obi, for instance, because of two things. I've never witnessed a Igbo president because I was not alive when Azikiwe was the president. And secondly, I want a youth as a president, unlike Atiku and Tinubu. But when this of Muslim thing started, we count this as maybe an attack on Muslims, the way they talk about it on social media, on everywhere and go. All of us have to withdraw and rethink of our decision. So this is a problem. Up to now, we don't like it to be happening. We don't like it. These religious leaders are supposed to allow us to vote because among these congregations there are those who are interested in different this party, and this religious leader we want us to vote for a particular candidate of their choice, which is not supposed to be. It happens in the church and it is happening in the mosque, to be realistic. So I think there are supposed to be a law that be enacted on this so that this must be stopped.
Okay, thank you so much, Mohammed. Your point has been made and has been taken, and I like his choice of words. He said some. Yeah. He's specific, and he broke it down. Thank you so much, Mohammed. He actually broke it down.
He did.
And he said this Muslim, people kept hammering on Muslim ticket, and they're like, okay, so why is it the religion you don't like or what? So now they start to do a rethink.
Very good. Let me explain it. For me, an expansion of what is done.
Same.
And I'm thinking, every religion has divine laws. Every religion has divine laws. But these laws are only akin to the sect of followers. Now, you now bring those laws, whether it's religion A, B, C, or D, you now try to spread it across the nation. That is ethnically, religiously, or structured, defined. It's difficult.
It's difficult.
However, politicians also, maybe over time, have believed that the people you can trust, most people you can trust and put in government, are people who have religious inclination, who are pious, so to speak.
Well, we never really know.
Do you get it? Now, I'm using it carefully, but they feel comfortable over time. Maybe now it's dwindled, but over time, and that's all over the world, by the way. All over the world, by the way, they feel look for somebody to help get him.
Who have the fear
of God. The fear of God.
The fear of
that's
God.
Where the challenge is coming
That's
from
the
gradually.
key word.
I
The
just
fear of God.
brought the topic we discussed last week Sunday in church, but I'm not going to talk about it because it was very strong in church.
Leave the altar now.
The fear of God.
Let's come to
How do we know who has the
Who
fear
has
of
it?
God? How do you know?
know?
It's not an outward thing that we can judge.
But Nigerian today now, we even see religion as business. So in the days back, when, like you said, people want to bring somebody who have an altar of, okay, this person is a Muslim, this person is a Christian, a good one. Oh, I know this man. This is how he does on the street during the Ramadan, whatever. Let's entrust him with this thing and put him in this position. It used to be, but now they can't just say, who's the man that want to enter that place? He, Mr. T, is a Christian.
Exactly.
You understand?
Meanwhile, even when they force that Mr. something to get there, they forget to check his leadership traits.
Precisely.
They just go for the religious
What
part.
type of leader? What
Is this person?
Who is
His
him?
track record.
How is he going to lead? I mean, what's his plan? You know, what does he have in stock for us? Okay, I think it's time for us to take a break, and when we come back, let's look at what's happening in Lagos State this morning. We'll take a break. It's a Bumper Breakfast Show. Please stay tuned.
A popular saying in Nigeria goes that at the time a cockerel matures, it begins to crow to tell the world the time of day. This makes a crucial premise for all of us who have come of age, the youths, to lend our voices to a nation set to flip a new page, like the chance to vote and be voted for, whether being a youth, a woman, or a person with disability, and to do this in unity. And to anyone who hasn't been confident enough to exercise these rights, I beg, step out of the dark and come into the light. I mean, your participating in the electoral process is significant, a moment to behold, like that cock crowing in the morning to tell about a difference. No sit down look. Do something that will count today and be in tomorrow's books. The elections are coming. Register for and get your voter's card, your power card. As a citizen, and especially as a young lady or lad, lend your voice, use your voice, talk, say, and tell the world the time of day.
They are real. They are the drama queens of Abuja.
If you're not real, you will be consumed, okay?
Stop calling me Mom Joe. You're at me.
We have an intruder in the house. The meter of the disgrace is rising. You're old.
Who said I need deliverance? Ha! Deliverance!
It wasn't me. She got me on wasn't it? Alpha pulled me aside for a chat. No.
The Real Housewives of Abuja, only on Showmax.
To watch this and other Showmax originals, simply add Showmax to your DSTV subscription using the My DSTV app.